Okay. There we go. Sorry about that, and I believe I had my thumb over the speaker at the beginning of the last video, so my apologies on that. Um, but yes, trying to get to is that when lightning catches, it sparks off this big thing beyond your wildest dreams. Disney is a fine example of that. Now, now we've had some other successes where people had their passion projects. Like Lucas starting his whole thing. How he became a household name after Star Wars in the late 70s. Okay, how he established ILM, which then, by the way, started doing like every special effects for high budget films throughout the late 70s and 80s. I mean, it's like, wait, you did that, and you did that, and that, and that. So all this, that was you guys. And my mind was blown. I'm like, they did that? And it's like, yeah, we did Dragon Heart. We did, and I knew from previously from watching the documentaries and the director's commentary on Who Framed Roger Rabbit that a lot of these special effects were done, like the scene for all the scenes for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, all the special effects, the animation was done by, in part by Industrial Light and Magic. The animation was done by this one guy, a director guy, whatever, in his passion project, which I'm kind of relating into this. His passion project was, let me go get that, because I have it right here. I have it right here. I have it right. Here. Here we are. Yes, I have it right here. I have it right here. The Thief and the Cobbler, released by Miramax. That's the Miramax edition, mind you. Now, that was his little passion project. And this guy, who had a career of being pretty good to outstanding, wanted to do this movie. And so all the while, when this thing took like 20 years to make, it was ridiculous. He was a perfectionist, much like how Disney was back with Sleeping Beauty. By the way, Scene 8, anybody? I think they took like 3 years just to try and get Scene 8, like, right. It's like that. It was just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. But that's the thing. It's a beautiful shot. The dancing sequence. They went through countless iterations of that, refining it. That's why it looks so gorgeous, even to today's standards. It looks so beautiful. Different colors. What contrasts? What goes with? What's the better highlight? Is it too bright? Is it too dark? Is the animation smooth enough? So much like that. That's what this entire production was basically one giant Scene 8. So, this guy, I forget what his name was. Damn it. I've been watching his documentaries about him for the past, like, day and a half, and I forgot what his name was. Richard Williams, that's his name, Richard Williams. If that is his name. Anyway, point is, this guy had a passion project. He worked on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and that gave him some notoriety to say, okay, we'll continue some more. Because this guy took forever to do this. People came and go, concepts came and went, scenes were done and redone, over and over and over and over and over again. And trying to deal with, again, corporate America, it didn't go very well because you're taking too long. Trust me, I know a thing about that. Where it's like, well, there's a difference between doing it and doing it right. I don't want to give a half-ass, you know, attempt at this. I want to get it right. You know, no regrets. But they said, well, it's taking too long, so therefore we're giving it out to the animation bonds company, and so you're off the project, and we're bringing in somebody else to just finish it, just finish it, which they decided to edit down and distribute into several different names, like three different names, and it was under Miramax, okay, which is owned by uh, Disney, of all people, subsidiary, much like not Tombstone, Lighthouse. Damn it, what was that called? Touchstone. Like Touchstone was a subsidiary of Disney. That was their live action section. Miramax was also the live action section, but this was a Miramax production. Well, not in production, but distributor. So it was a whole. But I recommend just watching all the basic, particularly Animat's review. He did a 5-part segment videos on it. Five videos worth of it, of the whole backstory of this thing, which I find highly detailed, nuanced, and really good. There's just dozens of these things, different people telling basically the same story, long and short, about the production, the guy behind it, its release, and its re-release, the cobbled together edition versions 1, 2, 3, and 4, where a fan, actually a really good fan, basically with his own money managed to bring something together that you can watch for free on YouTube, which is as close to the original production length thing of this story, because they were just saying it was made before Aladdin, so therefore we'll make it a lot more like Aladdin, since by the time this was going to come out, Aladdin came out, so they just turned around and, put in. Not only had the songs, they redid the songs and redid all the voices with Matthew Broderick. Hey. If you don't know who that is, remember the live action what's that? What was that one show? Christmas Story, live action, A Christmas Story. Remember that? Yeah, the dad. That's Matthew Broderick. The guy sings in this. I believe he sings in this, or at least he talks in. I know that. Yeah, that's Matthew Broderick. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, which we'll get into. So yes. So you see, there's been a big fandom. People think this will never be a thing. You know, The Room was a terrible movie. I think it's just misunderstood. Once you understand the creator behind it, you tend to understand the property a lot better. And I like Disaster Artist better, personally, because I think that's a better... I like movies about movies, especially if they're terrible, because then it just seems a lot more like, oh, okay, I see how that came about. But you have these passion projects, you put them out, no one had, corporate America has no faith in it, so just do whatever you can to pump it out there, and slowly but surely a fandom will appear. If it has good quality, or a good story, or something compelling about it, the fans will, if you build it, they will come. Like Joe Bob Briggs said, damn, what was the name of that film? Daydreams, Field of Dreams, that was it. Field of Dreams, he says, Field of Dreams was not about building a stadium, it was about the movies. If you build it, they will come. And that's what people did with their low-budget films. They had heart. That's what people liked about it. It had heart. If the Terminator series, I watched the first Terminator film after like many years of not seeing it because my brothers recorded over it. When I saw it again, if it didn't have the good effects budget it had, it would have been mediocre. It still would have been a good story. I've seen good stories have really shitty, if mediocre, effects. The effects budget wasn't as high or good quality as it was. Wait, who did special effects for that? It might have been ILM. I'm not sure. But if the effects for the Terminator were not as good as it was, the movie would not have been as popular as it was. It would have been pretty popular, but not the mega hit it had been, because what really convinced you was the threat of this big looming machine behind them in the third act. You know, it really sold that this machine is real. It looks real. The effects behind the future tech blasters are real. You know, you get a sense of this war. That's the impending doom, which was Doomsday. You know, coined in the movie series or the franchise. So you get a feel of that impending doom because it feels real. If it felt goofy like some sort of cartoon, people wouldn't buy it. Thus, you lose your audience. See, that's the quality part of it. You have the quality, you put that in there, it helps out everything else. Each thing has to have its time and place. See how that works? Anyway, moving on. So, you have a powerhouse! Yay! How do you screw that up, kids? Well, I'll tell you. It wasn't easy to screw up a cash cow. It's it isn't easy. It takes a lot of very, very stupid people doing a lot of very, very stupid things. What, you think I don't know what I'm talking about? I've been watching films my entire life. I've been watching these things since the time I was born. But watching all these franchises, all these old franchises for decades, you know? I've seen how they are, I've seen how they evolve, I watched the behind the scenes. So don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. For the naysayers out there, like, who's this guy? What does he know? A lot more than you, kid. A lot more than you. Now, when you have a movie, a good blockbuster film where it's like, ooh, nice. Then you pump out the sequel. Now, the sequel's never quite as good as the original. Granted. Okay, sure. But when you kind of... You try to do the same movie again, case in point, 48 hours and another 48 hours, and then with the other, stakeout and another stakeout. Basically, they're the same film. They just redid it twice. You see? That's the thing. They tried to say, well, it worked the first time, we'll just kind of rehash it again the second time, change only a few things, but the basic general story is still the same. And it's not quite as funny because you're still trying to do the same thing again. Which doesn't make the movie bad per se, but not quite good enough to really warrant, oh, right, you know, that's a good sequel. Let's go see the sequel. You know, when you have it on home video, when you have a choice. The difference between movie theater experience and the movie, home video market, experience, is that you make effort to go out to the movies. That's more. It's a bit more of an effort. It's a different experience, you know. And with copy, steal this episode, from The Simpsons, you realize the movie going experience shouldn't be, shelling out tons of money for, the best quality experience, high definition, the good seats. You pay for those good seats, by the way, which I find out are heated, by the way, which no one told me. But I'm glad I found that out. Also, I thought the motor was overheating underneath me, and I'm like, oh shit, is this thing going to catch fire now? Oh no, it's just heated seats. I found that out in Nope, the last movie I saw, so I'm like, oh, okay. Was this here the whole time? Did no one just not tell... Did no one just tell me these things? No one told me these things. But anyway, you shouldn't have to shell out for a good movie experience, 3D and all that stuff while everyone else is talking, texting, sexting, and who brings a child to a 9 a.m. showing anyway. He goes, that's just negative, man. Like, honestly, bringing a child to a 9 a.m. showing is kind of a bit of a dick move. I'm just saying. You don't bring little children to, not late night movies. That's just asking for trouble. I saw an 8 a.m. showing Lego Movie, and it was packed full of kids. That was their target audience. But I was like the only real adult in the room. It was ridiculous. But anyway, the point is, your movie going experience should be not, like just under $100 for you and your group, which you are paying for. Well, i.e., your group, but your actuality, it's supposed to be targeted for the family. So it's you paying $100 for the greatest experience for your family to have a memorable night out. And the food's ferociously expensive. That's why I say go and eat before coming in. It's like you can get the stuff cheap at 7-Eleven. It's not $5 at 7-Eleven. It's like $1 to $1.50 at 7-Eleven. It's like a fraction of the money. It's ridiculous. Anyway, point being, when you have, the home going experience versus the theater going experience, or home movie experience, those are different qualities, they're different genres, different expectations. Now, some movies and franchises do better on the home video than they do in theaters, and some things do better in theaters before going to, to video. So you have the difference, and you have stuff that's just instantly pumped out straight to video or an OVA, but things that go direct to video, this is something a corporation just wants to just pump out there and say, just put it out there, and it'll somehow make money. We hope, just so we can just get it out of our system in a way, because it will cost more to try to promote something is total junk. Again, another sequel, the Milo's Adventure, Atlantis 2, that whole thing. So you would have a movie that did pretty well in theaters, but then the sequel would just be pumped out on video, and it's like, there. Not even by the original voice actors or anything. It's like a cheap TV pilot, failed TV pilot, might I add. So you can see where things kind of go, however their production are, like how they would go out to theaters, how they go out, will they succeed or not, or how the sequels do or not, or a 1-2 punch where it's like movies then video, So anyway, having known all this, and you have the powerhouse, you have the quality, you have the brand name, you're in every household, everyone knows you. You go to every house in America, everybody knows who Mickey Mouse is, everyone knows who Spider-Man is, Superman. You have these powerhouses. You've spent decades building up people's wants and needs and passions and money. Don't forget the money. So when they hear new projects in the works, they're like, ooh, what now? Surprise. He's like, thrill me. And they do, the next one comes out, Frozen. And you have your lulls. It's like, okay, that wasn't really much of a hit. It was okay. The next one comes out, and it's like, and then it was everywhere for like 2 years. And the sequel comes out, it's like, what happened? They're trying to be emotional, but a lot of that is just not adding up to anything emotional or proper or necessary at all. Why does Sven need to be in Frozen 2 if he doesn't really do anything to the plot? And you had to just break a dam and then they're retconning a ticking clock somehow. And it's like, stop trying to invent a backstory to this that explains what's going on in the current movie, where it's like, shouldn't that have happened all along then? Oh no, it had to be now, not during the first movie, but now. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. What's the difference between her powers now versus her powers then? She has control of it now, so why didn't it pop up at the end of the first film? Stuff like that. So Frozen 2 has very problematic reason for existing at all than the first one. The first one was actually pretty nice. It was a good setup. Like I said, the sequel is not very good, so that's more like a pump out the video thing. And then Olaf was pretty popular, so they said, let's stick him in front of some failing projects to get butts in seats, so then we'll have decent numbers in theaters. Because wherever the children go, the parents must follow. I am not making that up. Maleficent and a couple of other projects where they have the Olaf's Frozen Adventure, Frozen Fever, all those shorts. Yeah, they stick them in front of other films to help pad out their theatrical seatings. Again, it's just standard manipulation. Of course, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids didn't really need that when they put their anime short of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Tommy Trouble, and that theme park one, and the one that takes place out in the woods. You know, they didn't try to put butts in seats for that, trying to bait and switch you. You know, with that. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, people there went to go see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, not Who Framed Roger Rabbit short. You see? But anyway, how to tank a franchise, kids? Okay, so this would be basically where the parts... Let me stop it now, and then I'll do another video so it doesn't go on too long. Alright. How to kill a cash cow in part 3. Hold on.